This video is made possible by my patrons on Patreon. Hello everyone, my name is Ziamaro and welcome back to Battlerite. So yesterday was a bit of an early Christmas present from SLS. A very short devlog went out yesterday announcing the introduction of a public test server for Battlerite and Battlerite Royale. We also got a sneak peek at some of the upcoming changes to Royale, so we'll take a look at that. And there's going to be a content creators tournament over the next 2 weekends, which will be streamed by literally everyone playing in it. And I'm one of those people, but I'll get back to that later. First, let's take a look at the PTR. To play on the servers, all you need to do is check out your Steam library and find the Battlerite and Battlerite Royale public test and install them. These servers will only be open at set times, so you'll need to join the PTR Discord to stay up to date with when you can play. I'll leave a link to that down below. A few lucky people have already managed to hop on the server, but unfortunately I haven't managed to myself yet, which is why I don't have any footage from it. Just remember though, if you play on the PTR, you're not allowed to stream the gameplay. However, there's nothing to say that you can't post clips to YouTube or screenshots. This was the case in the Royale beta as well, so I don't think this was just an omission. So feel free to record your clips and screenshots. So next, let's take a sneak peek at the patch notes. We only have Royale notes for now, but I'll update you if we get some Arena patch notes. These were posted publicly on the PTR Discord, but they're no longer available. Luckily, I managed to save a copy. However, bear in mind that they were taken down for a reason. There are going to be additional changes, and for that reason, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty. We'll just take a surface look at what's coming. So first up, the winter event. Aside from new cosmetics, the main change in the winter event is the winter goblins. These guys are just like the regular goblins, except they drop some unique items. You can get a snowball, which chills people when you hit them, and if they're already chilled, they get frozen. In before everyone plays LUCIE to abuse that fact. You can also get a frost flake, which covers the area in a slippery surface. Presumably, it lowers your friction with the ground. This could be particularly hilarious if you put this in front of a spring trap or something like that, so someone can't help but slide into it. So I'm expecting some wacky races style shenanigans with this. There's also the winter feast, and still no explanation as to what it does, so that's still a mystery, but if you've played on the PTR, please let us know what it does. You can also loot a hungry snowman, which transforms you into the head of a hungry snowman. And by the sound of things, you lose control of your character as you go on an absolute rampage. I'll be interested to see how this works, because if it doesn't run you out of the circle, it could be fun to use this when the circle closes in. And finally, you can pick up a Raging Moose mask. When you consume this, you turn into a Raging Moose with a charge attack. Next, let's take a look at the general gameplay changes. There's actually a lot to cover here, but it looks like SLS are pushing Royale in the right direction. Here's the major stuff. All interactable items now require you to press the interact key, which will be left shift or X by default, to use them. So if you want to push a barrel, open a chest, or move a sentry turret, you'll need to consciously take an action. This stops some cheesy strats like placing trick chests on vendors to block them and stuff like that. It also fixes some janky interactions, like if you're camping near a turret, you need to keep moving in order to avoid picking it up. Another big change is to the healing you receive when you get a kill. Right now, you get a flat 30 healing over 3 seconds when you land a killing blow. From the next patch, you won't get that, and instead there will be a healing area on the body. While you stand in the area, you get healed for 60 over 6 seconds, and any nearby player can use it. This is a big change for duos in particular, but it also takes some of the reward away from vulturing kills. Another change that takes some of the reward away from vulturing is the change to the kill score. You now get 5 points if you damaged a killed player in the last 10 seconds, and an additional 5 points for landing the killing blow. That means if you did most of the damage and someone strolls along and takes the killing blow, you still at least get something for your efforts. The flip side of that is that it might encourage people to get at least one hit in on someone who is about to die, so it might encourage teaming up on people. Another addition to the game is disenchanting gear. You can use the interact key on nearby items to disenchant them into gold. So if you find a second legendary for one of your abilities, at least you can get something for it, and you can deny it for anyone else. The disenchant times are quite long for the higher level items, so it won't be a viable strat to disenchant everything, but it does add an extra layer of strategy to the game. Vendors are also getting a bit of an overhaul. In addition to the regular vendors we have now, there will be 2 new types of vendors: legendary ability vendors and legendary equipment vendors. These ones will carry a huge amount of legendary items. So if you end up gold capped, these will be a really great place to go. But bear in mind, they'll probably be a popular spot for all the players who just got a bunch of kills, so I imagine they'll be highly contested in the late game. Additionally, consumables are getting some major changes too. You'll now have 4 consumable slots, and the more basic consumables now stack up to 4. On top of that, healing potions are finally getting fixed. Instead of giving a flat amount of health, they now give you 50% health per potion. So that means you no longer have to drop all your gear to get the most out of it, which is great news. On top of that, trap kits, spring traps, and explosive barrels are getting some buffs, so that'll add to the wacky races thing I mentioned before. And honestly, that's what Battlerite Royale is all about, so I'm all for fun consumables being buffed. Next, let's take a very quick look at the champion changes. Because a lot can change between now and the patch's release, I'll just tell you this. Destiny is getting some much needed nerfs to her transform weapon ability. Esmo's Q legendary is getting an overhaul. Ivor, Shifu, and Thorn are getting some buffs, and Jamila's ultimate is getting some nerfs. And finally, Xander is getting a few interesting changes. His Mouse 1 legendary no longer gives his mirror image an extra card. That's been moved over to the Space legendary. The Mouse 1 instead inflicts a fading snare when you hit an enemy with 3 cards at once, with the help of your illusions of course. I would say that's a big buff for duos when you want to pin someone down. On top of that, his legendary Spotlight has also been changed. It no longer dispels negative effects. Instead, it now makes your Mouse 1 attacks blind when standing in Spotlight. All this combined means a pretty big overhaul to Xander's late game, and it sounds like a lot of fun. And the final thing I want to look at in the patch notes preview is the new champions. So in the next patch, we'll be getting Poloma and Lucie added to Royale, and the brand new champion Shen. Having 3 new champions added at once will be a big shake-up for the meta, and all 3 champions look really exciting. So first, Shen. This guy has a very intricate kit. He has access to some decent CC and area control, he has some decent movement speed for mobility, and it looks like he'll hit pretty hard too. I'm holding off breaking down his entire kit for now because honestly I think he deserves his own video. I'm also holding off until I've played him for myself. But I think it's safe to say that he'll have a reasonably high skill cap, but will be very effective in capable hands. So we'll circle back to Shen at a later date. Next, let's have a quick overview of Lucie in Royale. One of the biggest changes is to her role. In Royale, this obviously has no energy requirement, and it also has 2 charges. So Lucie will be no slouch when it comes to survivability, something she can struggle with in Arena at times. Additionally, her barrier has been replaced with rapid fire, which stacks poison on the enemy. Combine that with her Q ability Catalyst, which leeches health for every poison stack it consumes, she'll actually have some very good burst damage. Additionally, her healing potion has been changed to Alchemist's Brew. It works similarly to her healing potion, except you can slot consumables into it to give it additional effects. If you put a healing potion in it, it gives allies a shield, an invisibility or rabbit potion will turn your ally invisible or into a rabbit, and the ultimate potion will give an ally 75% more energy gain for 3 seconds. That ability alone will make Lucie very unique in Royale. And last but definitely not least, let's take a look at my main girl Poloma. She still has her Wolf, Other Side, Fear, Space, and Swap. So the only major ability she's missing is her Pixie, but you can still get access to that with her Mouse 1 legendary, which gives you a 20% chance to summon a Pixie on each hit. The other change to her kit is her ultimate. In Arena, when you ult, it puts a fading snare on enemies and a small amount of damage, followed by a larger burst of damage when it ends. In Royale, it'll still have the first part, but when it ends, instead it sends out a wolf to each nearby enemy. This makes it a lot easier to use and get value out of. Honestly, as someone who's been a Poloma and Psychopomp main for like, 7 years or something, I couldn't be happier with her kit. I'm super excited to play her, and she'll even be ready for the second week of the Royale tournament. And that takes me to my final bit before I go. So this weekend and next, I'll be playing in the Winter Showdown tournament with my good friend and old teammate from back in Bloodline Champions, Intelligenz. You might have seen him on Twitch. He's an insanely good Jamila player, so if you're looking to learn how to play her, I'd highly recommend following him on Twitch, so I'll leave a link down below. You'll be able to watch us live this Sunday at 6 PM UTC and next Sunday, the 16th, at the same time. We might also be practicing for the tournament when this video goes out, so head over to my Twitch after you finish watching this video. Anyway, that's enough talking for one day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please feel free to subscribe for more gaming guides, news, and discussion. And don't forget to check out the links below to Patreon, Discord, and Twitch. Until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.